Hello, it's me, Eli, aka Slim, making another video. This time, I'm coloring Manuel Mitchell. He's the protagonist of my graphic novel, Alien 101. As the main character, there's a lot going on with him. So, Manuel is an alien. The story starts off with him giving his report on humanity to the mothership. And he explains that there were some complications for his mission. And then the story pretty much just rewinds 1 year into the past and talks about his final year as a senior in high school and the complications he came across. His mission is to understand what human love is and report on it. He lives with his mom, dad, little sister. He has some human friends, and no one really even knows he's an alien. Even some people that he's told, they think he means more like he's weird or that he's a Canadian, but they don't actually understand that he's from actual outer space. So he doesn't really need to hide his identity, but he also doesn't go around telling everyone about it. Mann's an interesting character. He has this ability to enter people's minds if he makes eye contact with them. He enters their mindscape. So, in a person's mindscape, it is all that who they are. It's their consciousness and their subconsciousness made manifest into some physical way. Everyone's is different, and there's different representations of different commonalities, but he can learn a lot of things from people. He has a limit to how much he can understand by entering someone's mind, and it's kind of limited based on his own experience. So he can understand and identify feelings and emotions that he's encountered himself before, or even lesser or greater extents of that emotion. But certain feelings he doesn't. If he hasn't ever encountered it in his own life, then he doesn't recognize it. So, this all changes one day when he meets this girl named Marie, who is in love. And after getting into her head, he realizes that he also has been in love. He just didn't know it at the time, with his first human friend, Brandy, that he met in elementary school and who moved away. So his mission kind of turns from just studying humans to figuring out how he can have a long distance relationship with his first friend, but also doesn't want to ruin the relationship. So he wants to do a little bit more studying and learn more about humans and relationships before he starts a relationship with her. Him and Brandy do have a type of alien connection. Regardless of how far away they are, they can meet in this kind of middle area. So they're not really in either of their mindscapes, but it's kind of this common space between them where they can still interact, talk. It's a lot easier if one of them are sleeping, then they can go visit each other. So they've always been kind of connected. But now that Mann wants to pursue something a little bit further, their relationship changes a little bit. So that's the whole story. It's just following Mann as he's going through these different relationships. I haven't spoiled anything outside of the first book, but there's a lot more going on there. There's also shadow cats, and then other aliens show up, and then there's a lot of stuff happens. The reason I like Mann is because he's an a-hole, but he doesn't really know it. Mann represents a type of person that's indifferent to humanity. He thinks he's a nice guy. He thinks he's just following all the social norms, but he's just playing a role. He's playing the role that he thinks people want him to play. He's completely unaware of his own interests, what he likes, or how he's really affecting other people. He has a great power for compassion and understanding of other individuals, but he doesn't look far enough into it to make use of that compassion. I originally made this story because, I was dating my girlfriend at the time. I was in my first serious relationship, and the story was just going to be about an alien who finds a human and then falls in love, and then they live happily ever after. But while I was working on the story, we broke up. So it ended up having a really dark, world-ending twist at the end, mostly because I was a bit dramatic. But After a couple years, I got in other relationships. I learned some lessons. I even got married, and I had a better sense of what love actually is. And I realized it was very different from the love that I thought I had back when I was in high school. And I wanted to, a couple years ago, I went back, rebooted this story, and my goal is to try to incorporate that message into it. A lot of what I learned is reflected in Alien 101, one way or another. But, I mean, one of the big lessons I learned was that love isn't really this over-the-moon, butterflies in the stomach type of thing. That is usually how it starts. Love, at least with a partner, is a lot more of a decision, a commitment, and it's a little bit more work. And it's a little bit more effort to try to understand completely the good and bad in a person, and then making the decision to stand by them. That's kind of the lessons Mann learns. He goes through different types of love. He goes through his first love. He goes through his over-the-moon love. He even becomes an a-hole for a little bit of a time. That is okay. I don't need to dive too deep into that. Mann kind of goes through a speed course of the lessons I learned when it comes to life and love. And I think they're worthwhile lessons. I think they're a lot of fun. But yeah, that's Mann and all his weirdness. If you're interested in learning more, you can always pick up a book online. They're selling on Amazon. The book's called Alien 101 by Eli Beard. You can also read online. The story's also on Webtoons. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. I plan on making more. I think I'm gonna leave Alien 101 and start doing a little bit more of these videos drawing Actionland. I feel like Actionland just has a little bit more to do with kind of art, and I can incorporate more art lessons in it. I feel like that's what a lot of people would like to see, is me kind of giving some tips and tricks, or even just talking about how I see things. So you can look forward to that. But till then, I will see you next time. Bye.